So, here we are again. Trying to actually make sense of literally any of this. Let me see if I'm actually going to show up on my own thing. There we go, yada yada. Okay, it does say I'm live. With that in mind, let's try and get things to actually cooperate the way that they're supposed to. Why am I missing? Oh, I must have closed that out. Okay. So, part two of this weird bit of fuckery that I'm doing. We've got Gemfire, specifically the Super Nintendo version. If I get a wild hair, I might just showcase the Genesis one as well, just because it's a little bit faster, but it's also the not the version that I grew up playing. Like, I saw this one as the preteen. I was 11, 12, something like that. No, younger than that even. But anyway, that's not relevant to the whole story. The point being, in keeping with the Fire Emblem stream that I was doing yesterday, this is more of a like kingdom management. A more recent example would be like the Dynasty Warriors Empires games, which hilariously enough was made by the same company. But again, like, I like retro games. They're just better in my opinion. And granted, in showcasing the what's the word I'm looking for here? In showcasing the gameplay of this, doing the whole intro is kind of irrelevant. Oh no. Oh, wait. Aha. I was gonna say, is my controller not set up to run with this? But apparently it is. And let's see here. Oh lordy, oh right, this particular emulator is weird and doesn't like the, pardon me, it doesn't like the D-pad on my controller, so this game has 4 different scenarios, which are all basically the same, like, unite the entire continent under one person. Hell with it, we'll just go with this one, just to showcase how this works. This is one of those yada yada, nobody really cares. So, it would be using the Fire Emblem GBA graphics for the actual combats, which I'll showcase here in a little bit. This would be more of like the overworld of what I was thinking of for a video game. Like, there's military commands, there are domestic commands, diplomacy commands, and then these are just kind of like miscellaneous. So, like, you can view different territories, which showcases, like, oh, how many troops do they have, and all this other happy crap. I don't actually have the instruction manual handy, so I don't remember what each of these actually does in the game, but, like, the flag is loyalty, the middle one, which looks like wheat, is production, and the bottom one is defense, all on the right hand side. And I keep wanting to point at the screen when y'all can't actually see my hands. And then on the left you have gold, food, and soldiers. So, oh, actually here, if I do view real quick, I might be able to, yeah. So, where it says Prince Aaron, underneath that, the little shield thing, that's his, that shows that that's the actual, like, ruler of your, oh, what's the fucking word for it? Hold on one second. Oh, right, I forgot. If you click off the game for this emulator, it cuts the audio. Um, so in this game, you have your actual ruler, which is denoted by the shield icon, individual, like, actual lords, rulers, generals, they're showcased by the sword icon. So, like, so you have King here, and then you have, like, this dude who's actually supposed to be one of my people, but that's a huge whatever the hell it is. Let's see if we can find another spot that's... okay, why does he have so many people? Like, he's got lords on each of his lands, whereas I don't seem to have, you know... yeah, it's like Aaron, Carl... oh, there's one. But then, like... yeah, like 11 and 12, for whatever reason, the flag means that they don't actually have a lord that's residing there. So it just kind of defaults to whoever your leader is. And then you're, the only people who can actually change lord locations are your home province, which, like I said before, is the shield. In Trust, I believe... it basically lets that particular province run on autopilot, which, I mean, for this particular game is not really necessary because the game itself isn't that hard. And you can... oh, I guess search actually does enter turn for that particular land space. But it gives you extra information, and then diplomacy, you can form an alliance, negotiate either defection or surrender, which is generally doesn't work. I don't, again, know how all the specifics work because I don't have the instruction manual, nor am I going to go through and, like, data mine this, 30-some-year-old game. Sabotage, if it works, I believe brings down your defenses, and then plunder, you can actually steal crap from your enemies, but it never gives you a, like, oh, this has a 55% chance of working or anything like that. It just either does or doesn't work. And then for your military commands, attack, which, like, legitimately can't, because all of the surrounding areas from 5 are all also the same fucking, like, ruled by the same person. Again, this is a lot like the fucking Dynasty Warriors Empires, if you're familiar with that. You can recruit more soldiers, which, yeah, that's not really necessary right now. Move troops, which is what I'm actually going to end up doing, but, because, like, if you send half your troops here, and let's see. So and there we go. And then you can also develop cultivation, raises your wheat, protection raises your little, like, castle-y looking thing. Trade, you can buy and sell food. Prices in this are either going to be low, average, or high, with low being a good time to buy, high being a good time to sell, and then average being a 1-to-1. It's 1 gold for 1 food. Give food increases your flag icon, which also... let me see if I can't remember how to... wait, yeah, no. View many. There we go. So each of your lords has different, like, diplomacy, combat prowess, and something else. And along the right, you have the crown, which is your like leader. Anybody that's got the like circlet is a blood relation to your leader, and then any of the helmets are just like nobles that serve under your person. Oh, and then each of the numbers is 6, 5, 3, 4, 10. Like that shows where everybody's actually like situated. If they're all under 6, which is home province for this particular family, that's... What's the word I'm looking for here? I tend to get confused a lot, frequently and easily. So then we've got... Let's see here. Also, when you view... 156 and 172. So with this game in particular, you generally just want to cultivate. Oh, damn it. Actually, that makes this a lot easier because you can move troops into unoccupied lands and claim that as your own, which is why 16 was blank a minute ago and now isn't. But then I also, like, so what I could do is I could just be an asshole and attack 16, but then you also have to keep in mind that any land that has connecting lines, so like 10 can be attacked by 7, 9, 15, 16, or 17. Oh, and then you can also hire monsters, which each province, which is each of the individual numbers 1 through 30, has different monsters you can hire. So... And then the battles between CPU versus CPU are all automated. Oh, Lord in Heaven, why did on Earth? Okay. So, if she moves all of her troops over here, and... So... there we go. So, like, see, if you view this now, 156, 115, so he hired more troops, and 57. So what I could do, just to showcase how combat works in this, I'm going to send all my units. I'll send this dude, because I shouldn't really need... Okay, so let me go back and showcase that. So, 12 blinking, that's what's currently being used. Oh, I just realized that there may not actually be, like, audio to this, because I constantly have my audio turned down to make sure that I'm not deafening myself when I'm just idly using my computer. So, let's try this again. There we go. So now we actually have music. Which, the music in the game varies from season to season. So you have a winter overworld, a spring overworld, summer overworld, autumn overworld, and then the actual combat has different themes depending on a few different factors, but we'll deal with that in a minute. I might also need to turn the music back down. So, when you're attacking an area here, you can use however many soldiers you have at your disposal from your home province. I always just do all, because I usually just kind of do a blitzkrieg tactic in this. The game does not know how to handle that. And you can send an amount of food to go with your soldiers, which allows you to keep the battle going longer, which, I mean, honestly, you never need more than, like, 3 days, but I usually just send as much as humanly possible. And so this is how the combat in this works, but like you notice how all the units are generic except for the 5th unit, which is the specific mage guy that I sent in here. So, in keeping with the whole like Fire Emblem-y, themey kind of thing, I figured that if there's a point where you can... God, the music itself is distracting me. But, like, in keeping with the Fire Emblem theming from before, it's like, okay, so you have, like, cavalry units, knights units, archer unit, other knights unit, and then, like, a specific mage. I mean, technically in the game it's just 5th unit, but I'll handle that more when I'm not trying to think over this music. But that also then leads into my third part of this, which will again be a different stream. It's... like if you're moving an entire army around, instead of just a handful of units. Also, this game does have animations. They are ridiculously slow-paced. I'm genuinely surprised that didn't peak the audio. I'm honestly just kind of toying around with this combat because this game is ridiculously easy. But then the next stream that I have to show all this stuff off, it's going to be a matter of... what on earth are they doing? There we go. About time somebody did something useful. And so, the combat in this basically boils down to a really fancy game of capture the flag. You can either, like, completely eliminate your enemies, or they'll run away. Or if you end up getting to their flag, which if you're the attacker is the blue flag, and if you're the defender is the red flag. Again, this game does not know how to handle this, because you also get bonuses from things like flanking, and archers don't actually take damage when they attack an enemy. So... okay. Also, I'm pressing the button on this to try and speed it up ever so slightly. Because... oh no, that archer might actually get to me. Oh, that guy's dead. Yeah, they realize that they are absolutely hosed, so... okay, and so the defenders will probably retreat as soon as I hit done. Yep. And now that's my territory. And I could theoretically do the same over here, because there's no way that they'd be able to stand up to... what is that? 249 plus 264, so well over 500. And if you go in and view theirs, 158, 134, okay, so 228 might be actually threatening, but, so 7 would be threatening, 1 and 2 would not. And then, let me see if I can negotiate defection, because it is possible to get people to... Oh, the hard on this is loyalty. That's what it was. However, it does not guarantee that you'll actually succeed. So... Dang it! Oh, and then the bottom there where it said Edric has been released by the enemy, you can actually capture enemy commanders in this. Again, it's another... What's the word for it? It's not... It's another hidden die roll, basically. And so you have... 60... So, see now, having destroyed the enemy there, I could get an attack here with its 128 troops. And, actually, let's see if I can't... No. What was the other one? Skeletons? Yeah, so these are crap, but... I'm gonna grab the skeletons anyway, and they're probably going to fucking go on a rampage because there's some sort of, again, hidden die roll in your recruited monsters, of which they aren't all monsters, but that's not really the point. Let me see if I can finagle him to actually surrender yet. Dang it! Actually... What? That's rude. He was not supposed to join them. Ugh. Sometimes you just have to hate people. Okay, so... That was what, so this was basically how I was thinking, like, oh, you have generic units, you have, going off of Fire Emblem, like, oh, you have your cavaliers, you have mercenaries, you have archers, and then you have, I don't know, soldiers, for lack of arguing. Maybe fighters. And then you have your general, who will be, you know, your named unit, think, you know, your Elawoods, Lins, Ikes, whoever your, like, commander is. But instead of them being like, oh, you have just the one for the Fire Emblem game, or, you know, a handful of them, depending on the game. Like, using this as a baseline, it's like, oh, Lord Owen would be, like, the general unit that you are actually... I am apparently a lot louder today than I normally am. Possibly because I don't actually have any form of ventilation in my office, which is not the smartest of moves, but I will fix that as soon as I'm done streaming, because despite it being in a basement, it's actually really hot in here. And then... Oh, and then, the other thing I was thinking, so you have, you know, your generic units, the Cavaliers, etc., etc., your... general, in this case being Lord Owen, and then, like, your mage or your 5th unit, which, depending on what you're using, because with how many Game Boy Advance sprites are in Fire Emblem, you could have tons of different units. Think you could have, oh, I don't know, skeletons, or you could have a sage, or, like, this dude looks kind of like Athos in a green robe, so, like, what if you have, like, the archmage, or whatever? And so instead of... oh, they sent their weak one. Normally, the enemy will send their strongest 5th unit in, which is why I sent my weaker one in when I was doing that first battle. And these guys are trying to break down their own fence. That's what that buzzing noise was. So... again, this game's really easy once you understand like the meta behind it. Basically, just always make sure that you have more units than your enemy does and proceed to absolutely obliterate them. I still don't understand why the game feels the need to go and destroy its own fences, though, because generally you want to keep the fences for not being... They are a barricade to stop both you and your enemy from getting through that particular square. So see, like, now my entire thing's blocked off. They'll have to break through that fence to actually get to my base. They would also have to get through literally all of my units. What on earth are they doing? Oh, wait. I'm really just making fences at this point to be inconvenient. I think if I attack from here, it counts. Nope, it's still a flank, not a rear attack. Aha. Granted, I don't think the enemy is this smart, but you know what? Let's see if they actually try to attack my cavalry. I really need a speedy uppy button. I'm sure that there is one for this particular emulator, I just don't know what it is. Oh, yep. Trying to prioritize getting through the fence. Which I can't exactly say I'm surprised about, but it's just not going to work. Oof. That moment where you can't even break down the fence. Oops. So yeah, that's the overworld in a nutshell. Oh yeah, see, so prices are low, now would be a good time to buy food. Actually, you know what? We'll say spend one, and see, spent one, got two. Give food, again, increases the flag, which is loyalty, like, kind of how the citizens view that particular lord. Every time you actually attack and conquer an area, you get set to 0. And then, so same thing here. Pender's being an asshole. Fuck. So every 3 months, the plague comes through, and to no one's surprise, starts killing people. But yeah, so that's Gemfire in a nutshell. Like, you get kingdom management and all that happy hullabaloo. There's, marching your soldiers, which in this is ridiculously simplistic. There's no terrain bonuses or negatives or anything horrible like that. But seeing as it's only been like half an hour, I'm going to close out of this, and then Viola, that is actually my computer background. Which means that because I have... Anyway, since I have time to kill, I may as well go through and open up my other emulator, which now pops up under my main display, but we'll fix that. Let's see if I can't get... There we go. Give it a minute. Ba-ba-da-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. I'm gonna be really sad if it doesn't actually do anything, but let's see if we can get it to actually load up a bit. Okay, so we have that. It says the window should be viewing, but it doesn't appear to actually be showing anything. That is a bit unfortunate. Let me see if it's actually doing anything. Haha, big cup of nope on that one. There is literally no capture. But y'all might, yep, y'all are getting audio, which is, again, absolutely horrible. Why are we not getting... No, capture specific window. Okay. Yeah, we're getting audio but no video. Let me see. Oh. Is it that one? Maybe? Nope. Whoa. Weird. Well, I will have to keep that in mind. So now y'all shouldn't be getting assaulted with the music. Okay. Well, what I was going to do was showcase that there's basically a Sega Genesis version of this as well, where the combat moves through quite a bit faster, but I can't seem to figure out why it's not actually capturing. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's not going... Mm, audio, yada yada. Right, normal. Yeah, I just unfortunately cannot seem to figure out how to get it to actually capture. Which is a bit sad because this emulator actually has more games that I grew up playing, but if they're just not going to work, then they're not going to work, and there's not much I can do about that. Oh hell, I just realized that actually makes things a lot more difficult. I'm going to have to figure out how to get this to work by next time, because next time is a game specifically for the Sega Genesis that I grew up playing that's going to combine the first two games that I have shown, Fire Emblem and Gemfire Emblem, if you will, and then give you like full scale armies to work with and not just like, oh, you have 12 units and you have to kind of work out in your brain that that's your army. No, like you get armies, like hundreds of soldiers. And so I'm going to have to figure out how to get this to work. In the meantime, ta ta for now. Y'all have